Well, if you walk into the School of Art Gallery here at the University of Manitoba, you will find an amazing array of materials and conversations being had by 6 of the Master of Fine Arts students here at the University of Manitoba. These exhibits run the gamut from literature to visual arts to video to sound and everything in between. I am standing in the midst of one of these exhibitions, Unwinding Complexity, Reflections on Disentanglement, and I'm here with this exhibition's creator, Maryam Bagheri. Thank you so much for having me here in your space.
Oh, thank you for coming to this exhibition.
Oh, of course. So maybe to start, when you're contemplating starting a project like this in an MFA program, where do you start with your inspiration?
So if I talk first about the inspiration about, these weaving and unweaving, so I would say that my grandma. My grandma was a weaver, a Persian rug weaver. So like part of my childhood was, with her sitting next to her upright loom and she making knots after knots and me sitting by her looking at all those amazing colors, shapes, patterns. It was like magic to me, right?
Wow.
So as a child, imagine how would it be? Like
Right.
I thought that my grandma is doing magic, weaving that.
That's
beautiful piece of art.
Well, what a way to look at it too, that it is magical and not merely something that is just done as a chore or a way
Right.
to survive, which I think is sort of the point that you were
Right.
trying to address with this exhibit. Maybe you can speak a little bit to what the cultural role is of weaving in your family and your community and the Persian diaspora.
Right, like Persian rug, I don't know, it's just, you don't need to talk about, like Persian rugs right now to tell people that what is that,
People know.
people know. But, the thing is that people don't know that this is mostly woman labor. And the name of those women isn't anywhere, The names are, like it's just a woman doing this amazing job, and we say that thank you, well done, that was great, but there is no agency for that. So this is what I'm talking about, and it's not about like Iranian women. It's all women around the world. Like this weaving job became like a like things that is just they do it in their as a hobby, something that they want to make something and say that I'm busy, making something. I'm not just spending my time on something that doesn't have any value. So it's mostly like that, But I would like to say that they put a lot of things in that woven piece. It's going to be memory, think, the choice of colors, the choice of patterns. Most of them they are like before. Right now we have like patterns that are mostly industrials, are designed by artists. But before it was like them weaving their memories, weaving their the things that was happening for them. It was like a painter that had like an imaginary image in his head or in her head, and then painted.
So this is labor that is sort of assumed of women living in an Iranian context or in a Persian context. At what point when you were growing up did you realize, yes, this is magic that my grandmother is doing, but also maybe she's not getting the credit for the magic that she deserves?
Right. So as a child, I would say that because I'm coming from a patriarchal background, Iran, so it was for me, I would always negotiate this with my family, why women are like that, and like about the rights, talking about the rights, and why men are like have more rights, and like in terms of even working, like the labor, they get credit for their labors. They do this even if they were a weaver, they got paid and they like were appreciated for their job. But for women, it was just a labor, but sometimes it was just, helping family, with that labor. That's it. And then, so growing up, it was like I could see that this discrimination. But recently, like it was during my MFA when I was thinking about, because I was doing painting and sculpture before switching to weaving, or probably combining weaving into my work. So I was thinking about that. How can I expand my painting in a way that I can see it as a painting, but it's not. And the first things that came to my mind was that my grandma's work, like the rugs. Because to me as a child, they were like paintings. I couldn't see the difference between a rug or a painting, because both of them were like an image which was not real, like was very abstract, So I decided to use the medium of weaving as a way to create.
Okay, so then that puts us inside all of these different spaces and these different pieces here in your exhibit. Maybe you can speak a little bit to the unique designs that are on display that are incredibly eye-catching, and it looks like we have perhaps some like Persian words or letters in this piece right here as an example.
So this is part of, like what we talked about, craft and fine art, women labor. It was part of this, an idea of making this body of work. But the other thing was thinking about home. Me as someone who's living in the diaspora, and probably I don't know if I have any chance to go home and visit my family, but I hope that it will happen someday. But like when you see that, or you feel that you're in exile and you have no chances to go back home, it's not just about seeing family, visiting family. It's about, like the whole place, that you call it home. So I like these letters, Persian letters or Iranian, Farsi letters are scattered. It's not like I put them in a way that you read it as a word, but to me it means something.
Yeah.
So a language is important for me because I feel like language is home. Whenever I talk in Farsi, I feel like I'm home.
Yeah.
So language is there, and also on those pieces on the wall there are like you can see that these are Iranian patterns like butejeke, geometry knots, which we call them gere. So these are not only decorations for my work. They're talking about my memories, my love, and my loss. So all together.
Well, and there's those pieces on the wall that you just talked about it's a bit more like it's a canvas, and it looks like it's just painting, but I mean, of course, it's more than that. But it is not necessarily a woven piece like the one that we are seeing back here. What are you able to say in pieces like those, more conventional sort of canvas structures, that maybe you feel you wouldn't be able to communicate as clearly if you were doing it all as pieces like this one?
Well, as you said, so those are like different, probably muted than these. These are like talking or in dialogue, but those are like, of course, but the common thing is that something that I would say that all the yellow colors that you see here, they are saffron from home. So all of them. So in that piece, the things that is on the walls, and these woven pieces. So the others are like natural colors that I use to dye my threads, like marigold, pomegranate, madder, indigo, and a combination of them. So yeah, for those pieces again, if I get back to them, so like as a way of like thinking about memories and thinking about, you know, your past. Sometimes you need to dig to the past to see that what happened. So that act of destruction, I would say, like destructing the canvas, like the history of this, you know, that to see what is happening. So to me, what I was thinking about, that this is a piece of canvas. Firstly, it is like the history tells me that it was woven by a woman. So, and we paint on it, but it holds a lot in it. So I wanted to show like what is happening there by cutting through the canvas, taking away the weft, so the warps are there, like the things that you see here. So it's just a combination of, as I said, weaving and unweaving to talk about memories, to talk about home.
This is all, this piece, these pieces, which are sort of repositioning weaving as art, as magic, and not just labor that takes place in a domestic context, is also taking place amid an ongoing cry for equality, for women's rights in Iran, as the Women Life Freedom movement took place over the last couple of years. How do you hope that this piece maybe speaks into this ongoing call, not just in Iran, but all over the Iranian diaspora and around the world, for equal rights for women in that country?
Well, I don't think that me individually is going to be like, I do a lot of things, but every one of us, we need to do our, you know, things. So I feel like me as a person, I'm talking about this, and we all need to talk about, you know, what's happening. Like I know that many Iranian women, either an artist or an engineer, or, you know, even a woman at home, like being a mom or being a daughter or a girl, so they all do their jobs, you know, talking about the situations. We all do it in a different way, and I think that's what we need to do.
Yeah. I'm most struck, as you're talking about this, I'm struck by the piece that's immediately behind us here, a woven cage, as it were. It feels like to me. But one of the sides is open on the back, as though there's been like a door that's been kicked down, and out emerges the weavers, traditionally women, from this space. Am I completely off base with that?
No, so yeah, I got this feedback that people see that as a cage. I guess that's what I was I'm not saying that I was thinking about a cage, but definitely I was thinking about home. And I made it when the Women Life Freedom was happening, so I was thinking about home as a fixed place at that time, and also about a fixed place that I can, like a luggage, carry with me, because as an immigrant I have to go from place to place. And so I was thinking about like home as a small space, like a you know, like someone that can you know, take it with. Yeah, so it was like that. So yeah, but the as you said, that this one part of it is open. The other thing that I was thinking about when I made this is, again, to expand that to the loom, which was like an upright loom, or the one that you put it on the floor and weave in a way that you can see what could it be. Just even the loom itself can create a space, not just a medium to use for weaving. And the process, as you can see, the threads are there, because as a child, the joy of sitting behind the loom and touching the threads, so it was you know, joyful for me. So I was, you know, I wanted to show that in one of the pieces, which is that one.
This gallery also has some input, I understand, from the Iranian community here in Winnipeg. I was looking around and noticing that perhaps there was some input given by other folks in this community. What has their reaction been to seeing everything that you have created in your MFA on display here?
Sure, some of them showed up for the opening and they were excited. They came to me, talked to me about this. I was, explaining to them that what are these and then how I made them. So I could say that they liked it. It was a good, to see that my work is. I don't know how to say that. They were related to what I'm making, probably like that. So like the rocks that are there, so as a way, so they told me that it's just, we feel like as an immigrant, we are like floating in the air, and the rocks are the things that are keeping us, down, And then, these are like, the feedback was good. And also about the
film,
the video. And then, because if you see the film is projected on a woven piece that I made with my community into different events. So it was, I've been asked by the Iranian community of Manitoba to make an interactive work for Canada Day. So I used that opportunity to talk about women's situation in Iran, to talk about women life freedom. So in the middle is women life freedom from top to the bottom, and it's ornated by the maple leaves.
Wow. Amazing sort of cross-cultural sort of a work that speaks to very much the Iranian community here in this community. What do you hope people who are not a part of the Iranian community take away from having seen these pieces of yours?
I hope they enjoyed it. So it's,
that's a good start.
Yes, exactly. So because of the letters, they might not be able to relate like the way that Iranian peoples relate to the works, but I got feedback from them as well. So like about the colors, shapes, and how they talk to each other, like the works, and weaving also. It seems that weaving is a universal language for people. They understand it, or when they see it somewhere, they can get close, see it, and understand it. I think that's something that I appreciate, if people see it as a weaving, being a way of creation. For the Iranian also, I think that if they can hear people that are struggling, like other, the things that is happening around the world right now, we know about it, and it's just, if we listen and just do our best to help them, that would be perfect. Yeah.
Unwinding Complexity, Reflections on Disentanglement runs here at the School of Art Gallery at the University of Manitoba as part of their MFA exhibit. There are 6 such exhibits here for you to check out. More information at our website, classic107.com, and the Classic 107 app. Maryam Bagheri, thank you so much for having me here, and it's so wonderful to see your work.
Thank you, Nolan. It was great to talk to you.